Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is Joshua Martinez, and I'll be your host and your presenter for today's presentation. I want to go ahead and say thank you to each and every one of you for allowing us to be part of your continuing education growth. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please be so kind to type in a yes into the question section box. If you could just type in a YES into the question section box, just let me know you can hear my voice. That'll let me know that everything's working properly on my end as well as everything's working properly on your end. Once again, if you could just type in a yes into the question section box, let me know you can hear my voice. That'll let me know that everything's working properly on my end as well as everything's working properly on your end. Okay, perfect. Hey, good morning, Jerry. Good morning, Niels. Good morning, Selby. Good morning, Poe and MOE, Yves. Good morning, Derek, and everyone else. The current time is just after 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Today's date is September the 18th, 2017, making today a Monday. Welcome to day one of our 5 for 5 indicators. Now, we hosted our 5 for 5 live session, I believe it was in July, just a couple months ago, where we discussed how to generate 500 pips utilizing technical analysis. And so what we wanted to do based upon based upon feedback and based upon more of a demand is let's do the 5 for 5 but with indicators. And so the purpose over the next 5 days is to host hourly sessions between 8 a.m. Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Eastern Time to host about a 1-hour session, give or take, to discuss the indicators which can be utilized to potentially help you generate an average of 500 pips a month. Now, some of you who start out are going to pick up on indicators right away, and generating the 500 pips is going to be extremely tangible. Some of you who are brand new, it may take a review of these lessons a handful of times before the lessons begin to sink in. That's quite all right. Each of these sessions are recorded, and they will be made available for you and to you inside the 10K Insiders members area. And I'm going to give you a little walkthrough of what that is in just a few moments, okay? In front of you is the risk disclaimer. It just means that there is risk involved in trading the Forex market. You should never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Always keep equity management in mind and understand that we are not CTAs, which stands for Commodity Trading Advisors. And what that basically means is this. I'm going to show you exactly what to do and how to do it. One of the things in which I'm going to empower you today is the knowledge of being able to understand the purpose and the whys and what indicators do for an individual. At the end of the day, it really comes down to trading opportunities. You will have the ability to place the trade or pass on the trade. You have all the control over your own money. I am unable to place trades on your behalf. And so for you as an investor, you have all the power over your own money. I will never ask you to send me money to manage. I am not a money manager. So that is a great thing for you, which gives you all the control, which is, in my opinion, the appropriate way if you want to learn how to trade the Forex market. Now, my name is Joshua Martinez, and I am Market Traders Institute's Director of Client Success. I have personally taken a $500 US initial deposit investment, and I've been able to turn it into over $39,000 US of profit. I'm a published author, international speaker, professional analyst. I've trained tens of thousands of investors from all around the world. I'm a full-time trader known throughout the Forex community as FX Pathfinder. I'm on my 20th month of consecutive net pip gains. I have generated over 48,000 pips inside of the Forex market net in the last going on 20 months, and I'm winning over 70% of all my closed positions. If you do not know what the Forex market is, that's quite all right. We're going to review what the Forex market is today as well as some of the indicators, but that is a really fantastic stat and a really fantastic performance. Now, you may have already seen me, heard of me, or read about me in the following areas: Your Trading Edge, FX Trader Magazine, Equities.com, Forex Crunch, Executive Trader. I am a contributor to TraderPlanet.com. I am the creator of the London Daybreak strategy, and I am the host of Market Traders Institute's Mastermind program. Now, the biggest thing in which you're here to learn is how to generate a consistent reliable income. Whether you're looking to make an extra $2,000 or $5,000 a month, it is extremely tangible. Some investors will go on their way to be making an extra $2,000 to $5,000 a week. It does take time and some dedication. But the biggest thing in which this money can do is it really can help an individual solve some of the biggest challenges in life. And so what I want to do is just kind of get some interaction with the room today. I want you to type in me, M-E, if you're here to learn a life skill so that you can begin to make the money for retirement. And type in me if you're looking to make money to serve your family, or you're looking to generate an income to improve your current lifestyle, to get out of debt, or even just to set aside for a rainy day or unexpected event. At the end of the day, it really comes down to the end goal in mind, which is results. And yes, we want to generate the returns, and yes, we want to generate the money, but it's what the money really truly does for an individual, which can really surpass someone's expectations. It is not uncommon for an investor who knows absolutely nothing about the investment realms to be able to generate the returns of what they're wanting as long as they know what they're doing. One of the things I want to do right now before we get started is I would like to highlight some of the success stories of people that I've had the opportunity working with. I shared with them some trading strategies, just kind of like what we're going to be doing today, and we put them in the position of empowerment, and these are the returns. This is she. She is a resident of California and is currently retired. When she came to one of my presentations, very similar to this, he came with no trading experience. He started trading in February 2017 of this year, so it wasn't really that long ago. He's made over $30,000 US in 4 months. He does not have to go back to work. And since he is now retired, his goal as an investor is to be able to generate $150,000 US. And so in regards to expectations, I just kind of want to ask in regards to investment return on investment. If all this presentation did for you was teach you the skill so that you could potentially make an extra $30,000 in the next 4 months, would this be worth your time, yes or no? And if I were to teach you and educate you a new way or a new view of trading the Forex market, or basically a daily approach or a daily game plan that you could utilize, and it gave you the ability to say, hey, listen, I'm looking to make an extra $150,000 this year or in the next 12 months, would it be worth your next 5 days? And these are going to be the questions that only you can ask yourself and only you can answer. But these are the people who've already gave me the opportunity to work with them, and these are the results in which they're generating. This is Daniel R. He's from Georgia. He's a full-time trader. When he came to me, he already had 6 months of trading experience with other educators, but he had 0 results. He started with MTI in March, and now he has generated an average of 76,000 pips in 15 months. He's been able to generate over $10,000 US within a 30 trading day period. This is Ernest O. Now, I had the pleasure and opportunity of interviewing Ernest, and Ernest has 3 years of trading experience. He joined MTI in 2015. He plans to invest his money in vacation. He lives in Norway, and he's a former carpenter for his trade. And now he's been able to generate over $10,000 US within a 30 trading day period. And what's neat about this, he's able to duplicate those returns. Now, this is Gerard. Now, Gerard's from North Carolina. He's an engineer. He joined MTI in January 2016, spent an entire year of just education, did not even place one single trade, just because he's an engineer. This is how engineers' brains work. If you ever met an engineer, they got to know everything about everything. So he spent an entire year, and then we finally pulled the trigger. He made $24,500 US in his first 3 months. And what's neat about this is I just talked to him, and he's going after 20+ thousand US a month of income, and he's already made over $10,000 US in the first 2 weeks of this month. So I actually talked to him yesterday, so he's doing fantastic. Now, not everybody generates $10,000, $20,000. You know, this is Rick W. Rick W. is a resident of California. He's making $5,000 US within the 30 trading day period. What's neat about that is that's still a $60,000 US a year income, which is extremely tangible and can allow any individual to begin to generate or accomplish the financial goals that they want to accomplish. Because an extra $5,000 a month is a lot of money. Now this is Saul. Saul is a rabbi from New York. He comes from the stocks and binary side of investing, but he was doing that for less than a year. He couldn't get his funds that he was making out of his binary account, which unfortunately is pretty common. I would not suggest anyone to trade binary simply because the regulations are pretty lax on that one. Many individuals are having a tough time getting the money out of their accounts inside of binary. You always want to pick a broker, which we'll talk today, but you always want to pick a broker who's regulated by a government because the government will force them to have fair practices, okay? Now, he started with MTI in December 2016, so less than a year ago, and since then he's made over $30,000. He's now making over $10,000 within a 30 trading day period. The biggest question is this. If I could show you as an investor how to generate between $5,000 and $10,000 a month following a step-by-step process, and maybe you don't have the money to make $5,000 or $10,000 a month right now, but if I could give you the skill this week so that you could strategically compound, reinvest, and work towards your financial goals, type in me, M-E, that would be something, or the end goal in mind in what you're searching to obtain. Because, there are home run opportunities for those of you that do have a little bit of money to invest in. This is Eddie L. Now, Eddie L. Joined my program, and he came and said, listen, I'm just happy to make an extra $2,000 a month. But when we showed him the formulas and showed him what can truly happen, he hit the ground running. Within 6 months, in 6 months, he's made over $331,000. He never has to go back to work again with this skill. He is enjoying his retirement. He lives in the United States. I actually had the opportunity to interview Eddie, and he went from literally having a goal to make an extra $2,000 a month to in the last 6 months he's made over $331,000. So there are home run opportunities that are available. Today we're going to be discussing the 5x5 indicators. The whole goal, the whole purpose of today is to put you in a position of great empowerment so that you can have a step-by-step formula of success. Now, the biggest thing what we're going to be doing today is, number one, we will be reviewing our resources. I need to make sure that everyone in this room has all the materials in which you need. Day one, yes, we will be reviewing the indicators, but the biggest thing is making sure that you have access to all the materials in which you possibly could need to be able to use the indicators, okay? The second thing is we're going to bring everybody up to speed on what the heck is the Forex market. We're going to be discussing lot sizes, which are your investment sizes. So if you don't know anything about the Forex market, we'll make sure that we're speaking the same language. We're going to discuss where to find your charts, where to find brokers and demo accounts, how to read, that says reach, but it says how to read your charts, and how to find indicators, okay? Let me go ahead and make sure we update. That's where it says read, R-E-A-D. Okay, perfect. So the biggest thing is, if you have charting software, you have to know how to read your charts, such as what is the Japanese candlesticks and the time and how everything measures. We're going to create daily rituals. Now, a daily ritual is nothing crazy. It's nothing silly. It's just when you sit in front of your computer, you're going to establish a set of habits which can help you potentially find trades. One of the things in which successful investors do is they have a set of habits in which they repeat over and over and over again. The set of habits will give them the ability to generate the returns that they're looking for over and over and over again. It's the inconsistent trader who tries this and then tries that, who does this today, then does something completely different the next day. For the most part, is the person who is not satisfied with what they're searching for, and their results are typically very, very inconsistent because their habits are inconsistent, okay? And if there's an opportunity to find trades, absolutely we will be looking to find trades. Now specifically I wanted to go over the indicators, okay? Over the next 5 days, we're going to be introducing to you some very, very popular indicators. You may know these indicators, but you may have no idea what they are. So we're going to share with you how they can work with each other. We're going to be discussing a T3 Tilson, which is specifically designed to help you find direction. We'll be discussing Flipits, which can be utilized either as assistance in direction, or also known as a counter trend line break, or otherwise known as your entry. We're going to be utilizing stochastic RSIs, which will help us identify high prices and low prices. It's important that you understand when to buy low and then when to sell high, but understanding how to incorporate the stochastic RSI to increase your winning percent is always beneficial. We're going to be discussing the encapsulation tool. The encapsulation tool is going to be a tool which can help you pinpoint very visually certain times throughout the day, such as if you like to utilize the London daybreak strategy, the encapsulation tool can help you find the 3 a.m. candlestick without having to spend 30 seconds or a minute trying to find the actual candlestick. Any indicator in which you utilize should have an assignment, okay? You have to assign responsibility to your indicators. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're going to use an indicator to help find trades, okay, you need to understand every indicator has a purpose. So for example, let's just imagine that you're in your backyard and I were to give you a shovel. Well, a shovel's purpose is to dig a hole, is to stick into the ground and remove the dirt or create a hole in which you're trying to create. You typically would not use a shovel to rake leaves. If I were to give you a rake, you would use a rake to rake leaves, but you would not use a rake to dig a hole. So every indicator has a purpose. And it's important that you understand that if you're using an indicator, you're utilizing it for the right function. And if you're using an indicator for the wrong function or for the wrong purpose, then by all means it's not going to work. So that's the biggest thing, okay? 5 steps to placing trades: direction, entry, stops, limit, and you have to have fun. Each indicator will have a purpose. So for example, T3 Tilson will have the purpose for direction. The Flipit will have the purpose of entry. The stochastic RSI will have the purpose of direction. The encapsulation tool will assist us in identifying where is the appropriate place for stops, if not limits as well. So we're going to be utilizing a handful of different indicators, but for a purpose, okay? Now, I'm getting reports of sound. Can you hear my voice? Go ahead and type in a yes. Why yes if you can hear my voice? Type in no and no if you cannot hear my voice. Type in yes if you can hear my voice. Type in no if you cannot, okay? Let me go ahead and send a message. Okay, perfect. Now, with that being said, let's go to the live market. So, did everybody follow these 3 steps? When you signed up to the 5 for 5, you were asked to complete these 3 steps. Get your Smart Trader charts, get access to your 10K Insiders Club, and then to use a link. If you did not, here is a link in the question section box. Okay? Here's a link in the question section box. It's going to bring you directly to this page. Again, this URL, which I'm sending to you right now, you may want to look at. You're going to want to open up your question section box. You're going to want to click on that link. You're going to want to fill out Unlock Your Free Smart Trader. Okay? These are your charts. These are your free charts. you need to create a, put in your first name, your last name, your email address, and create your free account. We will be utilizing a charting software today, and there's many different charting softwares out there. The indicators that we're going to give you access to are from smarttrader.com, okay? And the link in which I gave you, if you complete step 1, it will give you access to free charts and will give you access to your indicators. I believe you get access to all the indicators because there's like 100 plus indicators from now until the end of the month. So if you did not complete that, you're going to want to do so now. The other thing is, did you complete your do you have access to your 10K insiders? Type in no. I want to find the traders who do not. Type in no, N-O, if you do not have access to your 10K insiders membership. Type in no if you do not have access to your 10Ks. I'm going to ask you this every single day. If you don't have access, here's your link. Okay, it's the same link that I just sent you. Complete steps 2. Access the 10K Insiders Club. Log into Josh's 10K Insiders Club. What you're going to need to do is create a username and passcode. Just use the same username that you did. Just use the same username that you did when you signed up for the 5 for 5. In here, what I have for you is the first complete season of So You Want to Be a Trader. It's actually really easy and simple to utilize this. You click on this little So You Want to Be a Trader Season 1. What this does, it will give you access to, I believe, 11 or 12 individual episodes. And this will give you a foundation of what the Forex market is. We go over information of what are your first steps, creating a formula, how to read Japanese candlesticks, the charts. These are not drawn out videos like 3 to 5 minutes long. I would strongly suggest, if you have no idea what the Forex market is, to go through your Season 1. Now, we also have, and we gave you access to your retirement plan. Your retirement plan is going to give you the ability to, and we'll go over this one tomorrow, but give you the ability to plug in numbers to kind of see what's possible in regards to growth. There is a mathematical equation on how to pick your lot sizes and reinvest. We do give you direct access to the retirement plan. We go over it, we provide you trading strategies. We have monthly giveaways. You see where it says 5 for 5 recorded sessions? This is where you're going to get access to the videos which we're discussing today, okay? Raymond, open your question section box. When you open your question section box, click on the link that I just sent you and complete steps 2, okay? Steps 2 will give you access to the 10K Insiders. Your step 1 will give you your Smart Trader access with the charting software. This is where you and I will be able to communicate. I will be providing you the videos where it says Josh's 5 for 5 recorded sessions. This will be made available today. Once this session ends, this will be in here. If you need access to your free charting software, for whatever reason you lose the link, we also put a link in here. It says Smart Trader. It gives you access to unlock your free access, okay? We also do, and later on we have, this is where it says Josh's 5 for 5 indicators. You may not have the first 5 for 5, but you're going to have Josh's 5 for 5 indicators day 1, okay? And we do VIP strategy workshops. We'll give you access to special promotions, like, for example, I have a trade comp here. We can talk about that later. But this is a nice little customer hub and has a wealth full of resources. We give you indicators. We give you additional giveaways, and it really is a fantastic avenue to be able to generate some nice little returns, okay? And once again, okay, what you need to do is click on the link, complete steps 1 and complete steps 2. Do me a favor, type in yes, why yes. If you received your link and you understand that it is up to you, if you want access to your 10K Insiders, you need to create your username and passcode. Okay, you got to create and fill out the information you want access to it. Type in yes if you understand. If you want access to the free charts, You have to create a profile. You got to click on section number 1. Okay, perfect. Now, let's go ahead and continue on. What I need everyone to do is I need everyone to open up their charting software, go to smarttrader.com, which is your free charts. Type in done, D-O-N-E, type in done when you have your charting software open. You may be on this page. You may be on this page at first. Just go ahead and sign in. I'm going to sign in now. When you sign in, you're going to have access to trading ideas, which is actually really neat, but we can talk about that tomorrow. We're going to go to charts. I need everyone to click on charts. I need everyone to click on charts. Okay, type in done when you have your charts on. Type in done, D-O-N-E, when you have your charts up. Okay. Now, who is brand new? Who is brand new to the Forex market? If you're brand new, then this section you're really going to benefit from, because I'm going to go over the basics of what the Forex is, okay? So I really need you to pay attention. And you make sure you utilize the same username or email address that you did for the 5 for 5. If you need assistance, product support, or tech support, you can always give our home office a call, 407-740-0900. Ask to speak to product support. Okay, if you need help, I'm going to say need help, question mark, call. That's our headquarters at Market Traders Institute. Now, the Forex market is known as the foreign exchange. Okay, it's also known as the spot market or the cash market. The Forex market is where you can trade one country's currency's value against another country's currency value. It measures the supply and demand of the two countries' currencies. We measure the fluctuations in pairs. You will often hear what's called the G7 or the Global 7 paired with the US dollar, which basically are the Australian dollar, the euro, the Great British pound, the New Zealand dollar, the Japanese yen, the Canadian dollar, the Swiss franc, paired with the US dollar. Now there's what's called exotics, and exotics are currencies that are paired with one another outside of the US dollar for the most part. And what we do inside of the Forex market is we look to capture or monitor PIPs, PIP, which stands for price interest points, PIP. And a PIP, PIP, price interest point, is how you and myself look to generate a return. If we're unable to generate PIPs, then we're unable to generate a return. So for example, it doesn't matter what we do inside the live market, our number one focus is to find a low price to buy and find a high price to sell. Because the market moves in waves, everything in which we do is to follow this sequence. Find a low price to buy, find a high price to sell. We measure our success or failures based upon pips. Now, if you take a look in front of you, this is what's known as the Great British Pound against the Australian dollar. And everyone who just joined us, if you need the link to your resources, we can review that a little bit later. We spent a good amount of time on it. I went ahead and sent you the link in the question section box, but we can review it again later. Now, Your job as an investor is find a low price to buy and find a high price to sell. And in this scenario, this is the Great British Pound Australian dollar, and granted this is hindsight, which basically means it makes it a little easier to provide examples because it already happened, but it's important that you see some examples so you're brought up to speed. Now, as an investor, your job is to enter in when you see the low price and to exit when you see the high price. So, for example, what I'm doing is I'm utilizing my measurement tool. If you look on your upper left-hand side where it says range, it will show you the number of pips. I'm clicking on this little measurement tool on the left-hand side, and I'm saying, hypothetically speaking, if I were to buy this market at that low price and if I were to close out at the market at this high price, I would have generated 420 pips. Now that's some really fantastic volatility movement, 420 pips, because it's not taking a tremendous amount of time. It's taking just a handful of days. You would have entered in on September the 8th. You would have closed out right around September the 12th, about four days, give or take. A very similar aspect took place. Granted, if you got the low price and here you currently are now, it's about 480 pips. Now, the big question is, what the heck is a pip? Well, PIP stands for price interest point. And you as an investor want to try to capture as many pips as possible because that is how you make money in this business. Now, specifically, a pip, to give you an idea, if I were to give you a $1 bill, $1, and ask you to give me pennies in return, you would give me 100 pennies. Well, 100 pennies is equal to $1 US. A pip is very, very similar to that relationship, but instead of a dollar, it's a penny. So if I were to give you a penny and said, hey, can you break it the same way, you would give me back 100 pips. Now, there is no tangible form of pips, but I need everyone in this room to understand is a pip is a unit of measurement which represents 1/100th of a penny. Before we go any further, type in yes if you understand that 100 pips is equal to 1 penny, just as 100 pennies is equal to $1 US. What we do inside the Forex market, or otherwise known as the foreign exchange, is we measure fractions of pennies worth of movement. On the right-hand side, we'll share with you and show you the current exchange. What's measured in red will show you that this is the Great British Pound against the Australian dollar. It's the GBP AUD, okay? And this shows 1.6937. 1.6936 now because it just moved 1 pip. This last number is a fraction, okay? And I'm bringing everyone up to speed. We're going to create a new workspace here in just a few moments, but I'm bringing everyone up to speed of what the basics of the Forex is, okay? This will all make sense if you're a little lost. Now, your job as an investor is when you go to enter into the market, you're going to be asked, how much do you want to invest in or invest with? There's going to be 3 lot sizes, and over our 5 days, we will be discussing, and I will be opening up a broker account. I will be opening up a demo account, and I will be sharing with everybody that whole process of how to place a trade. We're not going to have time to do that today because today is going to be more of a basics than an introduction of indicators. But when you go to press the buy button or the sell button, you're going to be asked what lot size. So these are different investment sizes. So it's called a micro lot. This is where you invest an average of $20. If you're going to be an investor, you need to be in a position to at least invest $20 per opportunity. That's a 1 micro lot. That means 1 pip is equal to an average of 10 cents. Now, that's not a tremendous amount of money either. So, for example, if you would have bought this market at a low price, so for whatever reason you said, hey, I'm going to buy the market because it's low, and you made 420 pips, that means you made $42 with a $20 investment. Type in yes, why yes, you understand that. If you would have bought low and you close out this high price, hypothetically speaking, anyways, this is more of mechanics. If you invested $20 on average, you would have made $42 in return. But you really can't, like, you can't retire or pay your bills with $42. You know, that's just, for most people anyways, $42 just doesn't cut it, especially taking 4 days to make $42. you're better off just getting a physical job because you more than likely make more money. But if you use a micro lot to learn the life skill to be able to compound or reinvest and put the time in, then you can be put into a position of generating great returns. There's what's called a mini lot. And a mini lot is where most people will begin to see life-changing income. Now, will it be retirement income for some, but not for most? A mini lot is when you invest an average of $200 per trade, and 1 pip is equal to an average of $1. Now, what's neat about this is, for this example, if you would have bought the market on September the 8th, hypothetically speaking, and in 4 days you would have closed out, and you traded a mini lot, you would have made $420 in 4 days. Now, you would have done the same thing just recently and then made $480 in just a handful of days. Now, this is where expediting, or this is where beginning to generate a little bit of returns really comes into play. Why? Well, if you think about it, if you can make an extra 400 pips a week or an extra 400 US dollars a week, 4 weeks in a month, that's 1,600 US dollars. So before we go any further, let me just ask this question. Would you be happy just starting out if you were able to take a $200 investment average and be able to generate right around $1,600 a month of return? So you take $200 on average per trade, per opportunity, and your return per month is on average $1,600. Would you be happy starting out with that? Most people say yes. Again, making $1,600 a month doesn't allow you to retire, but it is a start. And what most people will do is most people will begin to compound or reinvest. Now, there's what's called a standard lot. And if you're going to be an investor, this realistically needs to be one of your end goals in mind, to be able to focus in on at least trading one standard lot. Now, it is a much heavier investment size. On average is $2,000 per investment. And so what most people do is they would like to compound and reinvest, and strategically and safely, using safe investments is kind of an oxymoron, but they like to strategically compound or reinvest so they can trade within proper equity management guidelines. We'll talk about that this week as well. But this is where 1 pip is equal to an average of $10. This is where retirement income comes into play. Why? Because in this example, if you would have bought low and then you would have profited high in 4 days, if you traded a $2,000 investment average, which is a standard position, that would have been 420 pips or $10 a pip. That's $4,200 for that particular week. And then the following week you would have made 480 pips, assuming you got the best trade, but that's 4,800 US dollars. So this is where things become a little bit more exciting, and where you can say, well, if I'm a standard lot trader, 1,600 pips a month is very tangible. 1,600 pips a month, that's 16,000 US dollars a month. Type in ME, M-E, if you would be able to accomplish the majority, if not all of your goals, if you were able to generate 16,000 US dollars a month on average. This is where most people begin to say, yeah, absolutely. And that is why most people are here today, to begin to learn that skill. Now, before I go any further, what I would like to do is share with you, because indicators are going to help us accomplish this, but what I want to do is share with you my track record. Now, in front of you, this is myfxbook.com. Now, myfxbook.com is just a third-party verification website. I did not work for myfxbook.com. I just like their analytics. Now, this shows my trading track record. It shows all my wins, and it shows all my losses. It shows my drawdowns, and it shows my profits. Okay. Now, what you're seeing here is you're seeing wins, and you're seeing losses, wins, you're seeing losses. Now, since February 13, 2017, I've had 2 net losing days, and which means all of the other days in which I've closed my positions, I've had all positive net profits, except for 2 days since February 13, 2017. What's neat about this is I'm winning 86% of my trades this month, and I'm winning 77% of all my trades this year. This is the month-to-month breakdown of results. And by the way, this was updated like 2 minutes ago. Now, here's my link to MyFXBook if you want to check it out. Here's my link to myfxbook.com if you would like to check it out. Now, this will show since February of this year to current date, September, I've had month-over-month gains. As you know, in January, FXCM, which was a broker, for those you know about the Forex market, no longer offered their services in the United States. So I recently moved over to Forex.com. Forex.com does not provide read-only passcodes, so what's also known as investor passcode, which means this account, unfortunately, can never, ever, ever be verified. It's really sad, but the reality of this is truth. This is returns. What I like about this is you can see the history of this tab, and you can see the overall trade-by-trade exposures. Now, the biggest thing is this. I want to share with you and show you track records of last year and this year. Now, last year, you can see since February of 2016, I had month after month after month after month of gains. This is 38,000 pips net generated in 2016. You couple that with this year, I have generated over 48,000 pips since February of last year. That is 48,000 pips. That is a very, very fantastic return. And by the way, I'm going on my 20th month of net gains, which means this 48,800 pips of opportunity, if you were trading a mini lot, is over $48,000. And if you were trading a standard lot or an average pip size of $10, is $480,000 in return. Now, I've been strategically compounding, reinvesting, and I'm going to share with you my calculator, more likely tomorrow, that I use. But the biggest thing is this. Type in ME, M-E, if you'd be happy generating 20 months of consecutive gains and making over 48,000 pips in the next 20 months, winning over 70% of all your closed positions. The reason why I share with you testimonials and the reason why I share with you track records simply is to be able to show you the testimonials that you need to see to be able to say, hey, this is possible and I can do this. The biggest part of being a Forex trader or any trader, period, isn't necessarily the strategy, but it comes down to two things: proper equity management and belief. Belief as an investor is extremely important. I could teach you the best strategies and give you the best indicators, but if you don't believe that it actually works, then you're not going to put in the action to follow through. And if you don't put in the action to follow through, then being successful is going to be extremely difficult. Okay? All right, so now let's introduce to you the indicators which we're going to be utilizing and focusing in on over the next 5 days. If you have your chart, then make sure everyone in this room has their charting software open. Now, when you first joined your 5 for 5, you were brought to this page that says, here are the next steps. For those of you who just joined us, here is a link in the question section box which will bring you directly back to this page. Step 1 is going to give you access to your Smart Trader, which is the charting software which we're utilizing. You have to click on Unlock Free Smart Trader and fill out the information if you want access to your free charts. Second thing is, if you want access to your 10K Insiders Club, which is going to give you the ability to have this video and all future videos moving forward, where it says 5 for 5 indicators, make sure you fill out the second step. Also, I have a complete series of So You Want to Be a Trader, Season 1, which give you additional information and isolated lessons, about 11 or 12 lessons total. Okay, so when you have your charting software and you click on charts, Jerry, you're going to have to open up your question section box where you see the chat, the question area, and that's where you're going to see the links. I've sent a handful of them, okay? Now, you can also just go to smarttrader.com, Uvest. Now, follow along with me because I'm going to give you the exact steps to duplicate. And if you're watching this recording at home, you can follow along with me as well. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to left-click over this big old giant plus tab. When you left-click over this big giant plus tab, this will give you the ability to say, do you want a new chart? Do you want a new workspace? Do you want to open up a workspace? What we're going to do is we're going to click on New Workspace. We're going to give it a name. We're going to call this Indicators. And let's just bring up the Great British Pound AUD. So GBP/AUD. We'll use a 1 hour time frame. So again, you're going to go to the plus button on the upper right hand side of your smarttrader.com charts. Left click over Add Workspace Charts. Okay. So what I need to do when you click on this plus button, go to New Workspace. So go to the plus button, go to New Workspace. We go to New Workspace, give it a name. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to give it Indicators. That's what I'm going to call it, Indicators. I would like to use the Great British Pound Australian dollar for today's example, but we can use anything moving forward. Just the biggest thing is just introducing to you where you can find your indicators. Then you're going to need to pick a time frame. I'm going to use a 1 hour timer, which just means each of these charts represents 1 hour. I'm going to select Add in 3, 2, 1. Indicators with the name already exists. Okay, so where's that name? Let me just go ahead and delete this then. Yes. Delete it. So here we go, one more time. So I'm going to left click over the big old plus button, go to New Workspace, give it a name, Indicators. I'm going to go Great British Pound, GBP/AUD, the Great British Pound against the Australian dollar, and I'm going to use a 1 hour time frame. In 3, 2, 1. Add. Okay. Now, when you have your charting software open, okay, what I want you to do on your upper left-hand side of the actual chart, you're going to see underneath the big A and little a, you're going to see Add Indicators. Type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you have clicked on that section. Just type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you've clicked on Add Indicators is on the left-hand side. This should be what's on your screen. Type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you left-click over here. Type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you've left-clicked over Add Indicators. Okay, just type in Done. Again, when you have your charts, upper left-hand side, you're going to see Add Indicators. Just click on Add Indicators. Done. Okay. Now, once you have your charting software open, and on the upper left-hand side, you click on where it says Add Indicators, this hover your mouse and say Add Indicator underneath your capital A and your lowercase a. It's going to give you access to indicators. Now, this scroll tab will give you the ability to see all the different indicators to choose from. And what I would like to do is share with you what I prefer. And I would like to share with you as an investor what can help you generate nice low returns. But each of these indicators has a purpose of identifying a pattern automatically. Do me a favor, type in yes, why yes, if you understand that each of these indicators have the purpose of these indicators is to duplicate a pattern. Typically, what a trader would do is they would analyze the market technically. They will use hand-drawn trend lines, Fibonacci, support resistance, crown formations, etc. And a trader will use technical analysis to identify patterns in which they've been trained to find. But that takes quite a bit of time. It literally takes years in most occasions to really master it. So indicators is designed to basically do that automatically. Now, it's not as great as doing it yourself, but it does serve the purpose. So one of the things in which I would like to bring to your attention, which I think we should start out with, is what is known as the flip it. And what you can do is scroll until you find flip it, F-L-I-P-I-T, okay? And I want you to press that plus button that says Add Selected Chart. Click on Flip It, and you should see Flip It, or these little lines in the background, appear. So I'm going to walk you through that one more time. I need everyone to do this. Now, you can watch this recording later and duplicate it later, but today's indicator that we're going to focus in on is what's going to be the Flip It. Now, on the upper left-hand side, you're going to see Add Indicator. Click on Add Indicator, find Flip It. You can also do the search to type in Flip It, F-L-I-P-I-T, and it'll say Flip It. But click on the plus button, type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you've clicked on Flip It, and you can see Flip It is on your screen. If you click on it a bunch of times, you're going to see a bunch of Flip It's up here. You don't need this many, so make sure you exit out, press the exit button, and if you accidentally added a bunch of Flip It's, because you're going to see them all up here, what I need you to do is begin to remove some of them. So just click on the X, remove, 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 remove. Just need one more time. Left click underneath the big capital A, little a, underneath there you're going to see Add Indicator section. Click on it. Find where it says Flip It. Okay, you're going to have access to all these different indicators. It's alphabetical order. Scroll on down. Find where it says Flip It, F-L-I-P-I-T, left click over Flip It, and you're going to see in the background. Type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you have this on your charts. And what we're going to do is walk you through how to edit it and what the purpose of this is for. We're going to focus in on one indicator a day, and then we're going to start combining the indicators. And every day we're going to use one off of another. So today's indicator is all about the Flip It. Okay. So when you have the Flip It, you're going to see a bottom red line, excuse me, and a top red line. This bottom red line measures upward movement. The top red line measures downward movement. But what we want to do is color code this a little bit more. So I want to do two things. Number one, I want to make the line thicker. Number two, I want to color code this. So how do we do that? Well, what we're going to do is on the upper left-hand side where you see Flip It, I want you to right-click. Don't left-click. Okay? You can left-click actually, but I like to right-click. Right-click over the name Flip It. On the upper left-hand side, you see where it says Flip It? Right-click and select Edit. Type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you've done that. On the upper left-hand side, you're going to see Flip It. 14.5. Right click over there, select Edit. It's going to bring you to this page. Right click over Flip It, brings you to this page. Type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you've done this. Upper left hand side says Flip It. Right click over it, type in Edit. You're going to see Edit. Upper left hand side, right click, Edit. Type in Done when you're on this page. There's a couple of things which I want to do. Number one, I would like to have a thicker line. So where you see main series, I change that from 1 to 3. When you see short series, I change that to 3 as well. And then I'm going to select Save Changes. Now watch what happens. Yes, Andrew, your recording is going to be made available inside of your 10K Insiders. So just make sure you log in there after. It's going to take like an hour, maybe an hour and a half to upload that. Main series 3, short series 3. Watch the line. 3, 2, 1. Save changes. See how the line became thicker? But still, both are red. There's lines going down are red, lines going up are red. So I would like to color code this to make it a little bit easier for myself. So again, I'm going to go back to where it says Flip It. Upper left hand side, I'm going to right click over Flip It. And I'm going to left click over Edit. So upper left-hand side, flip it, right-click, go to Edit. Where you see Short Series, change that to green. You're just going to click on the the red and change that to green, and it's going to show upward lines green. So again, go to your upper left-hand side, right-click, go to Edit, go to Short Series, make that green. Main Series, make that red. Type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you've done that. So we're going to do all this again, okay? So watch the whole process over again. I open up my charting software. I have the currency pair of choice. Just so happens to be the pound Aussie. Upper left-hand side, you're going to see Add Indicator. I'm going to left-click over Add Indicator buttons underneath the capital A, little a. I'm going to search. It's all alphabetical order under the General tab. I'm going to search where it says Flip It. I'm going to left-click over Flip It. Okay, see where it says Flip It? I'm going to left-click over the big old plus button. It's going to add it in the background. I'm going to close out of there. I'm going to make my lines thicker. I'm going to left-click over Flip It itself. That's on the chart. I'm going to select Edit, and I'm going to make my main series number 3 and my short series number 3 and save changes. All that's going to do is make my line thicker. Now my lines are thicker. But I want the colors to be green on the way up and red on the way down. So I'm going to go back to my Flip It, right-click over Edit, and then you're going to see Short Series. You're going to see a red box. Change that to green, and then select Save. Okay. Bingo. Type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you can see on my charts I have a red line that points down and a green line that points up. Type in Done, D-O-N-E, when you see I have a red line that points down and a green line that points up. Okay? Now, the purpose of any indicator is to help you, what? The purpose of any indicator or any strategy is to help you buy the market at a low price and to sell the market at a high price. Okay? Buy the market at a low price, sell the market at a high price. And what you do as an investor is you look at your indicator and you ask yourself the question, is it allowing us to do that? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, two things. Number one, a Flip It can give us two functions. Number one, it can give us a counter trend line, so it can let us understand when it's time to buy if the market's going up, or when it's time to sell when the market's going down. The second thing a Flip It can do is it can give us the ability to just find direction, period, but we have to make some adjustments. Here is an example. Okay, I'm going to bring on a trend line. Now, this trend line tells me that we are in the sell zone. As long as the market is in the sell zone or below the trend line, the blue line, I'm going to sell the market, or I'm going to want to sell the market when the Flip It is red. Now, type in yes if you can see clearly that when the Flip It turns red, you can clearly see that if you were to have sold those red lines, you could have generated money strategically. Go ahead and type in yes if you can see that. If you sold when it turned red when it was in the sell zone. Does everybody see that? You sold the market, sold the market, sold the market, sold the market, sold the market. Okay. Now, when we entered into the buy zone, and you saw green, Type in yes if you can see that when you saw green in the buy zone, that you could have generated returns on the way up, or that when you see the green arrows pointing up, you could have made money. So the flip it on this scenario is acting as what's known as a counter trend line. And the counter trend line is going to let you know your short-term moves. Now, to be able to do this strategically, you're going to have to know how to draw your hand-drawn trend lines, which some of you don't know. So there's another avenue of using your flip it, and that's to give you pure direction, or otherwise known as swing trades. Okay? Let me share with you and show you how to do that. Now, it's going to take some adjustments. On the upper left-hand side, we got to go back to where it says flip it, and you got to go back to your edit. Now, I want you to change where it says period. You can change that. Right now it's 14, but you can change that to 40, 40. And what this is going to do is require additional, when you change it to 40, it will require additional criteria for the color to change. Notice how the flip it became a little smoother. Let's do that again. Go back to flip it, edit, and we can even change that to 60. Watch the flip it line. You can see it becomes a little smoother. Green stays green a little longer. Let's go back to the flip it line, edit. We change that period to 100. Go ahead and type in yes if you're starting to see how the flip it now becomes a little longer, and red stays red longer, green stays green longer. So for example, when you saw the flip it turn green, you could have bought the market, held on to your trade when it turned green, and watch how the market pushes up. Towards the north. Pushes up, pushes up, pushes up. And in this scenario, this provided the latest buy trade of right around 677 pips. Now, in my opinion, I would like to utilize the function of using the flip it as more of a short-term mover. So I'm going to go back to the flip it, edit, and change it to 10, the period to be 10. Now the 10 period is going to give me short-term movements. So for example, it turned green, lets me know I need to start looking to buy the market. Market begins to go up. It turns red, lets me know I need to look to sell the market. Market begins to dip. It turns green, the market begins to push up. Turns red, market begins to push down. It turns green, market begins to push up. It turns red, market pushes down. So strategically, what I would like to do is incorporate the flip it as what is intended for, as an entry. And let's change this to period of 6. Okay, perfect. We use that as 6. So we're going to add in one more indicator, and then we're going to call it a day, okay? Now, we're going to get a little advanced. Is everybody ready for this? We're going to get a little advanced. We're going to add in another flip it. So we're going to go back to our add indicators. We're going to go find the flip it once again. We're going to bring in flip it. And now we're going to edit the latest one we brought in. Edit. And we're going to make the main series 3, the short series 3. Actually, we'll make it 5 and 5. Make them stand out a little bit more. Short series, make that green. Select save. Okay. Now, we're going to edit the second one, and we're going to change that to 100. Now notice how we have two flip its. We have one flip it on our screen that is more of a short-term way of viewing the market, and then we have one flip it on our screen that is more longer term. Do me a favor, type in yes if you can see type in yes, if you can see the thick green line, and then you can see the smaller green lines. Let's back off the first flip bit, make that more 2, so you can differentiate between the two. So you have green, and now you have red and red. What this can begin to do, and we can go more into this tomorrow, but what this can begin to do is give you green to buy and red to sell, but you have a 2 confirmation indicator criteria. Green and green you buy, red and red you sell, for example. And again, this is specifically designed for entry. We haven't discussed exits just yet. We have to do this bite sizes one at a time. So we're going to go into, see how this is green, see how this flip it's green, and see how this flip it's green, see how it's green at the same time, green and green. That's an entry to buy. Okay, now see how the market goes up, see how it's red. If you wanted to, you could take your profits. And what this means is you would have generated right around 44 pips as a quick little scalp trade. So that's 44 pips. 44 pips on this one. Now, we're red, but now we're green. Green and green, so you buy the market. Green and green, so you buy the market. And you hold on to your little buy trade until it turns red. In this scenario, from where you bought in green to where you got your exit, there's only like 5 pips you made. So nothing to brag about, 5 pips. And then let's see what happens. Green, so just turn green, so you would have bought the market. And it turned red, so this one would have been a loss. So you bought the high, came all the way down. And that would have been a 45 pip loss. Minus 45 pips. Now green, and green, market pushes up and then turns red. Right there, bingo. So you need to close out. So in this scenario, you would have entered in buying, you would have closed out, and you would have lost 1 pip. Green and green, you would have bought, and then you would have lost. Listen to me very carefully. Type in yes if you're starting to see that using the flip it for an entry and an exit does not work. Type in yes if you can see using the flip it to enter you in and to exit you does not work. Why? Because you're spinning your wheels. You make 45 pips here, you make 5 pips there, you lose 45 pips here, you lose 1 pip here. You had all of this bullish movement and you didn't make any money out of it. One of the biggest problems in which investors have, period, is they will use an indicator to enter into the market, and then they will use the same exact indicator to exit the market. Like I said in the very beginning of this presentation, you have to assign ownership. The ownership in which I would like to use the flip it is to help us get into the market. But I do not want to use the flip it to exit us out of the market. Type in yes if that makes sense. I do not want to use the flip it to make us close out. I would like to use the flip it to make us enter in. Tomorrow, I'm going to teach you what we can bring in to use as a limit, because the reality of this is when you have your flip it indicator provide you directional movement of 684 pips, you should be generating a nice low return. So before we go any further, a quick little recap. Remember, the Forex market, what we do is we try to capture pips. three major lot sizes, okay? You have a micro lot, a mini lot, and a standard lot. A micro lot is when you invest $20 per trade. A mini lot is when you invest $200 per trade. A standard lot is when you invest $2,000 per trade. A micro lot, every pip is worth 10 cents. A mini lot, every pip is worth $1. A standard lot, every pip is worth $10. It's not uncommon for an investor who knows what they're doing to be able to make an extra 150 pips a week, which could be an extra $1,500 a week with a standard position. You're utilizing indicators to help you complete 5 simple things. Number 1, to give you direction. Number 2, to give you an entry. Number 3, to give you a stop. Number 4, to give you a limit. And number 5, to have fun. Typically, when you're making money, you're having fun. Indicators takes a little bit of time. Many people will spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to learn indicators just to find out which ones they like, which ones they don't like. What I'm trying to do over this 5-day period is to share with you some very popular indicators in a very cost-efficient manner to where you spend $5 and then you can get access to many different indicators. By the end of this week, you're going to know the following indicators inside and out until by Friday, we're going to be combining them all together. You're going to know T3 Tilsons, Flipits, stochastic RSIs, and encapsulation tools to give us the purpose of direction, entry, stops, limits, and having fun. We're doing this off the Forex market, but many of these tools can be utilized in other markets such as stocks, ETFs, futures, options. It's just your decision and your choice. The biggest question before I end is this. Did you learn anything today? We reviewed what the Forex market is. We went over where to get your resources. We went over the 10K Insiders Club. We went over the Flipit. We went over how to apply the Flipit and how to edit the Flipit. What I would like for you to do is I would like for you to play around with the Flipit today. Come join me tomorrow, and what we're going to do is add in an exit strategy with it. You can clearly see the Flipit works very, very well by simply just answering this question. If you sold the market when you see red, or if you bought the market when you see green, do you think you could make money? Most people say absolutely yes. Now, before we end, I need to make sure everyone understands the end goal in mind, which is returns. The function of what you and I are doing is to help you accomplish this, which is a consistent, reliable income. Many investors will utilize this information to help them generate the returns what they're searching for. If you stay dedicated over the next 5 days, you can fall into the category of these investors who have no idea what they were doing. They came and they worked with me, and then within this scenario, this is she was able to make over $30,000 US in 4 months. This is Daniel. Daniel R. unfortunately was let go of his job. Came to me with 6 months of trading experience with other companies, but did not make any money. Cam utilized some of the programs and some of the strategies in which I'm teaching you, and then made over 76,000 pips in 15 weeks, and now is making over $10,000 a month. Ernest O. is now making over $10,000 US a month. Gerard is now making over $10,000 US a month. In 3 months, made $24,500. Rick W., in less than a year of experience, made over $5,000 US. And Sal makes over $10,000 US a month and came to me with zero Forex experience. Type in me, M-E, into the question section box if you as an investor would be extremely pleased to be able to make anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 US a month. Now, there is an avenue to expedite the opportunity of getting results. How many of you in this room would thoroughly enjoy to be able to copy my trades? How many of you would thoroughly enjoy to be able to copy my results? Type in me, M-E, if you'd say, hey Josh, if you could give me an avenue to be able to copy your trades, I would be all for it. Well, I have an avenue, and one of the things which I do is for traders who work with me, especially in these 5 days, these 5 for 5s, is I provide them opportunities to be able to utilize what's called a trade copier. And what I would like to do is give you some details of that trade copier today. So the trade copier gives you the ability to copy exactly what I'm doing. In front of you, this is my results. This is my trading account. If you are to utilize the trade copier, this is what you'll be walking into. Okay? So for example, this month I'm up 855 pips. Last month I made 202 pips. The month before that I made 1,995 pips. Last year I made 38,000 pips. Combined with this year, I'm up over 48,800 pips. Type in me, M-E, if you would be extremely ecstatic if you were able to utilize a trade copier, put a little bit of money inside of a trading account, have it follow with what I'm doing, and then make an average of 1,500 to 2,000 pips a month. I've been trading. I'm on my 20th month of consecutive gains. This year, I have less than a 5% drawdown. So what I want to do is kind of give everyone in this room an opportunity, and it's my way to say thank you to you, to give you the ability and the chance to copy me. And it's not going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars either. It's going to be extremely affordable, and you don't have to do this, but most people who do this are making really great income. Anyone who's done this since April of this year is I believe is over 7,000 pips net. But this is how it works. So my name is Joshua Martinez, and I'm a really great trader. What I do is I trade the Forex market. I teach people how to trade the Forex market too. I have a trade copier which allows you to connect your account to the trade copier, and the trade copier follows what I'm doing. It automatically duplicates the trades. You don't have to do anything. You connect, set, and forget. Literally, you can set it up and you have all the control over your own money. I am not a money manager. I'm not going to be physically placing trades in your account. It's something which you can turn on and turn off whenever you want. It's very simple. You don't have to be super tech savvy, and it just allows you to focus on the end goal in mind. The trade copier is intended to automatically follow my trades. I've already made over 48,000 pips net trading in the last 20 months. I'm on my 20th month of consecutive gains, which means I haven't had a net losing month in 20 months. I win over 70% of all my trades. The trade copier, you get access to the same trades that I place. You get quick start training guides. We're going to give you video tutorials on how to connect everything. It's actually very simple. You get access to our client success team, and they're ready to help you to answer any questions whenever you want. And the reality of this is, for many of you out there, if you were to work or were to utilize a trade copier with this kind of performance, you either are paying $2,000 of initiation fee, or you're going to have to go to the money manager and you have to deposit 6 figures, etc. That's not how I operate. Mine's really simple. It's a very simple concept. I charge $199 a month. Right now I run a promotion to where if you buy 1 month, you get 1 month free. That's what happens. For most investors, if you look at this as an investment return on investment, if you trade a mini lot or an average pip size of $1 per trade, if I make 1,500 pips, this means you make $1,500 on average. If I make 2,000 pips, this means you make an average of $2,000 on average. This month alone, I'm up 850 pips. If you would have done this month, you'd be up $850 at a mini lot right now. So let me just ask this question. Type in me, M-E, if you think it is a good investment to invest $200, receive 2 months of the trade copier, and in theory, if as long as I hit my numbers, to make 3,000 to 4,000 pips. Type in me, M-E, if you think that investing $200 to be able to make 3,000 to 4,000 pips in the next 2 months is realistically worth your time? Most people say absolutely yes to that. And so what I'm doing for investors is I'm giving them the opportunity to begin to participate. And right now, if you go into if you use this link, it's going to give you the ability to sign up. So here's a link in the question section box if you want to do this. I'm going to walk you through the process right now. If you look at your question section box, everyone in the room, I'm sending you this link. You can also get access to this link in your 10K Insiders. So when you go into your 10K Insiders Club, you're going to see access. So I understand for those of you who are watching this at home and you're watching the recording and you're kind of like, hey, where do I get this link? Just go to your 10K Insiders where you're watching the video, and you see where it says Josh's Trade Copier. Just click there, and it's going to bring you directly to the Sign On Now page. But for everyone else in this room, if you click on the link, what it will do is bring you directly to this sign up page. It's 100% secure. It's safe. It's reliable. That's me. I give you a little bit of a walkthrough of how it works. And I'm running a promotion where you get 2 months for $199, and then it will auto renew at $199 a month. You can cancel anytime. It's very straightforward. It's right to the point. So all you have to do is get started is fill out your contact information, email address, phone number, first name, last name, credit card number. You can get started with American Express, Visa, MasterCard, Discover. Fill out your billing information, you check out. We have many investors who are seeing great returns. They're loving it. See, the fact is I've been offering the trade copier since April, and if we look at the returns, if we look at April, we add it up. If you did this starting April, you would have made 1,367 pips in April, 2,279 pips in May, 896 pips in June, 1,995 pips in July, 202 pips in August, 855 pips in September. You'd be sitting positive right now 7,594 pips if you did this in April, which means if you're trading $1 a pip, which is a $200 investment per trade, that would have generated you on average 7,594 US dollars. Now this is $200 a month, so if you look at this and you just subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, so minus $200 a month, which is $1,200, you would still be sitting profitable 6,394 US dollars. Now, with that type of return, you also can strategically compound, reinvest, and begin to expedite it. Now, what's really neat about this is assuming you just trade one mini lot or $1 a pip. What if you did $2 a pip and you doubled that? What if you did $3 a pip and you tripled that? For many investors who like consistency, do I win 100% of my trades? No, I win 70% of my trades. So which means for every 100 trades I place, I lose right around 30, but I win 70. And I'm on my 20th month of consecutive gains. What that means is if you do this, expectations are that you should have net month after month after month profits as long as I hit my numbers. I have a personal goal to where I look to average 2,000 pips a month. And so let's just say I hit the 2,000 pip a month mark. If you trade one micro lot, which is 10 cents a pip, that's $200 on average. So if you trade one micro lot, you're breaking even. If you trade 2 micro lots, you are in the money. If you trade one mini lot, you're really in the money. If you trade a standard lot, you're heavily in the money. I trade for every $3,000 I have. I trade one micro lot. Many investors trade for every $1,500 they have. They trade a micro lot. You have all the control. How the trade copier works is actually really neat. You can pick your own lot sizes to follow me. You can mirror my risk and just have the calculation automatically work. So for example, let's say you have only a few $1,000s and you do this. Well, there's a setting in there that is on the onboarding process that will give you the ability to mirror the risk. So if I make 2%, you make 2%. If I lose 2%, you lose 2%. So it's apples to apples. But you have all the control. You can exclude certain currency pairs if you don't want the trade copier to touch certain currency pairs. You can increase your risk. You can decrease your risk. It's actually very, very nice. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to investment, return on investment. If this is something what you want to do, many investors like it simply because of the returns. Some of the things in which I hear from many investors who participate in the trade copier is, hey Josh, it takes the stress away from having to be successful because I know that if I were to mess up, I know the trade copier is generating returns. I get responses of, hey Josh, it makes investing a little easier simply because I can focus in on learning while the trade copier is making money. And at the end of the day, it's actually really fantastic. So if there's something which you want to do, here's a link in the question section box where I'm running a promotion. It's you buy 1 month, you get 1 month free. So the trade copier is $1.99 a month. It's month to month. And this is a promotion for new members. So if you don't have the trade copier, you want to sign up, you pay $1.99, you get your first 2 months. You can cancel anytime. It will auto-renew at $1.99 a month. But again, you can cancel anytime. Most traders who sign up typically stick with it simply because it's making money. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, I'm the trader. I'm on my 20th month of consecutive gains. You can see my results. These are my results. This is the expectation. You can see I have a couple losses, but for the most part, it's really fantastic gains. For this year, I'm winning 77% of all my closed trades. This month, I'm winning 86% of all my closed trades. So it works very, very well. DRA says, is the trade copier automated? No, I'm a manual trader, but let's say you were to do the trade copier. It works just like this. I want everyone to really understand this. So here I am on the upper left-hand side. I place trades. I'm a trader. This is what I do for a living. I trade all day long. You're at home. If you have the trade copier, it's intended to automatically follow my trades to where you could be at home, you could be at work, you could be sleeping, you could be on vacation, you could have your computer turned off, your internet could be out. It is completely 100% automated. Type in a yes, why yes, if you understand that it is 100% automated. You can connect it, and then you can forget it. One of the things which we encourage investors to do is connect, set, and forget. We encourage you just to look at it once a month. Just say, hey, it's the end of the month, what's the performance? A lot of traders like to watch the day-to-day activity and to see how I invest into the markets because a lot of traders like to learn how to do that. One of the things which I'm teaching you over this next 5 days is how to use indicators to help you technically find market opportunities. But one of the things which I do as a trader is I place trades and I trade. And so this has everything to do with you benefiting from the results of the trade copier. That's it. It's simple, it's easy, it's straightforward, it's to the point. Oh, by the way, you also get access to a trade copier. Here's a link to a trade copier closed group. It's from Facebook. But if you want to come join other trade copier members or ask questions what other traders are doing, then one of the things that what you can do is join this group. I'll host videos, but people love this. You can see here, hey, I love the trade copier. You can see I am so grateful that MTI set up this Facebook group. You can see, hey, the account has recovered in the past handful of weeks. You can see I love the weekends. You can see, look at post. If you kind of want to understand what investors are doing and how they're generating returns and want to work with other traders, these investors there's a nice little community to where everybody helps each other and it has everything to do with the trade copier. So, okay. Now, DRA says, I would like to trade the copier with a standard lot. Now, how I trade is I under leverage my account. I do trade with a live trading account. So my account size right now for the trade copier is $176,000. $176,000. How I trade is for every $3,000 I have, I trade one micro lot, which means I have if I have $3,000, I'll trade 10 cents a pip. I like the smaller gains. I go after 1,500 to 2,000 pips a month, but I go after like a 5 to 6% monthly gain. One of the things which I would suggest for investors is to take that into consideration. Many investors you have the option to fix every trade with a specific lot size. So let's just say you say, hey, every trade's going to be a mini lot or $1 a pip. Well, when I make 1,500 pips, that means you make $1,500. But typically when a trader does that, it's more for a short-term play. I have onboarding videos that kind of walks through everything in regards to how to connect everything. One of the things which I suggest is just to mirror what I'm doing. Literally just connect, set, and forget, and just allow the calculation to work. Since February of this year, February 13th of this year, I have less than a 5% drawdown. So if you like, a 3 to 5% gain a month and a less than a 5% high watermark drawdown, those are my stats since February of this year, February 13, 2017 of this year. This is another long-term play too, a nice little compounding opportunities. Okay, hey everyone, I want to say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to work with you. I'll see everybody tomorrow. I'm gonna open the room at 7 a.m. We went over quite a bit today. We went over what the Forex market is, your different lot sizes. We went over Smart Trader. We went over the 10K Insiders Club. We went over the Trade Computer, and we also went over the Flip It. Tomorrow we're going to be discussing an exit strategy, which I think you're going to love very, very much. For those of you that would like to take advantage of the Trade Computer, go ahead and do so. I think it's a great deal. It works. It's a very simple concept. It's $200 a month. I'm running a promotion where you buy 1 month, you get 1 month free. It will automatically renew at $199 a month after. I average between 1,500 and 2,000 pips a month. If you pay $200, it'll give you the ability to copy my positions automatically. And if I make 1,500 pips, you make 1,500 pips. It's intended to where if I win, you win. If I lose, you lose. Track record speaks for itself. If you want to take advantage of it, there's the link. I will be putting the recording inside the 10K membership. So inside your 10K Insiders, click on where it says Josh's 5-5 Indicators Workshop. That's where you're going to see it. If you want the Trade Computer access, you can also access that through your 10K Insiders where it says Josh's Trade Computer as well. If you did not fill out your 10K Insiders, here is your link to the 10K Insiders. Make sure you fill that out. Complete steps 1 for your free charts. Complete steps 2 for your 10K Insiders Club. Hey everyone, have a great day. I'll see everybody tomorrow, bright and early at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And on that note, every day, helping traders find a way. It's Joshua Martinez out.